ladies, I'm not going to ask any of y'all to go through this and accept this. But okay, it started out, she knew what I was coming out of. And so she knew there was an expectancy of dealing with some broken stuff. I think it was about 6 months into our relationship, I cheated on her.
Okay.
And she caught me.
Okay.
Red-handed.
Well, that does make it a little worse, Chris.
And she said, look, take a minute. Tell me if this is what you want or don't you.
Wow.
And she said, if you do, the only thing I can do is from that point on show you I'm not your ex. I'm not
That's it.
what hurts you.
That's right.
And again, ladies, I'm not asking any of y'all to endure that, but understand too that when there's brokenness, sometimes a way to heal that.
Another episode of Beauty Toe. It's your girl Britt, and yes, today you guys, I have another phenomenal guest. And like I promised you guys, I want to make sure that we have gentlemen, we have our gents in the building, so we can get a good perspective. And then, as you guys already know, I am kind of coming to a wrap up of the healing series. This is a mini series that I think again will bless others. I wanted to launch it in May for the actual mental health month, but that's okay. God is still good. We still made it work. And without further ado, I have Mr. Gracie in the building. He is in the ministry, doing works for the Lord. He is a husband. He is a father of 4 beautiful children, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And again, we connected and vibed through his wife, Miss Amber, who has been so gracious to allow me to borrow this man for this episode again, so we can be able to bless you guys. So Chris, welcome. I appreciate you so much. Yes. Anything that you want to start off by saying before we get into our juicy topic?
Man, just it's an honor to be here. I'm watching a whole bunch of your podcasts, man, and I get something out of every single one of them. So yeah, it's not just for men, not just for women. This is something that everybody can gain something from.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Yes, God is good. You know, He continues to bless me with person after person, beautiful guest after beautiful guest who is willing to be so open, so transparent to your stories. I know that we talked off camera. It's going to be no different here. Nope. So you guys get to get, the full exclusive, but more importantly, just the full story. And like I said, the goal, the ultimate goal always, if it could just bless one person in some way, shape, or form, then it was a story well told on Beauty Told. So guys, today's topic, without further ado, is we're going to talk about men heal too. Okay? Because it's not just a woman thing, it's not just a male thing. As a community, overall, we all need to heal. And it's very important, so that way you can be blessed to be with the person of whom you're supposed to be with, okay? So, without further ado, we're going to get into it. And of course, you guys already know, near and dear and to my heart is my faith journal. And it's going to keep us on topic, keep us on page, so we can be able to get it out there to you guys in the best way possible, okay? All right, so Chris, let's take a trip down memory lane a little bit, and let's just kind of go back into time to a place where things were not so merry. So this is, of course, before you met your beautiful wife. Tell us a little bit about how relational, what was some of the struggles that you kind of saw yourself enduring, or maybe even patterns you noticed with each relationship?
That's a good one. A big part with me personally came just from youth, and being stuck in some of those kind of macho ego man ways, that we as kids see, the quote men around us do, and so therefore that's just what a man is. I go to work and I come home, so what if I hit the bar, right? I brought that paper home, so I need my time. And so in some of that, I had to understand that, you know, that's a pattern that I didn't want to keep up, because if it creates friction in a relationship, why does anybody want to be in it?
Right,
so,
that's good.
And just personally for myself, you know, we all have so much we go through on both sides. I can only be accountable for my half of the relationship.
That's right.
You know, so that's, you know, realizing that I do have accountability and things. But.
Okay. And that's a good point, actually. Because for those who really do mature and grow in situations, you tend to realize that it's not just the other person. Yes, they have their flaws. But you also have to take a look in the mirror and realize, what did I contribute as well in a negative way to this relationship that I need to do the work to change? Because we all can continuously grow and change in the right way. So I think that's huge, being able to recognize, like, you know what, something's got to give, you know. Now, when you were, you know, having those moments of, okay, I'm gonna, you know, head to the bar, like, I worked hard, I'm bringing the paper home, it's fine. What was that causing in regards to, like, the relationship? Were you seeing more arguments? Were you seeing more fighting, fussing? You know, kind of tell us about more of how it was causing some, like, negatives.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know, I've always believed in playing hard, and I was always taught you work hard too.
That's right.
So, you know, once I get to work, you know, it didn't matter if I was working a 5-hour day, an 8-hour day, or a 16-hour day. I got to work. I'm working.
That's right. That's right.
And so, you know, I'm looking at it as, well, I worked for this amount of time, and so therefore I need my time.
Absolutely.
But she's saying, you've been gone for this amount of time.
Yeah.
When's my time?
Right. Right.
You know, and she don't want, you know, a lot of time, you know, I don't want me coming home, you know, a little tipsy or whatever, and you know, then I want to be quiet too, because now I need to calm down or whatever, you know. So it's more time taken away, and it's more time that, you know, and attention that you know, again, relationships are supposed to be, right, conversation. It's supposed to be an equal shared, and you know, just on my side, not willing to even see that.
Okay, so basically a lot of I guess you could say selfishness in a sense. It didn't seem like it. It didn't seem like it, because, like you said, you work hard, so why can't you play a little hard? I get that, but just realizing, you know, the overall picture for us females, like, okay, it's my time now. I know work got you for, you know, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours. Woo, let's not skip over that part. Hardworking man. But the fact that, like, okay, now fit a little bit of me in your schedule, and I could definitely see why that would cause some friction in any relationship. So for the gents out there, make sure you guys are listening to even just that part. So for you guys that, God bless you, you're working hard, you know, working hard to get that money. We appreciate it. Not only that, bringing it home, but relationship-wise, it does need to be consisting of time. You got to still make that time, you know, in order to make it work, you know. And I know it seems crazy, and it's like, well, wait, I'm doing what a man's supposed to do, but that also comes in, you know, into play when you have a relationship. Now, if you by yourself, you live in the bachelor life, then that's fine. But once you add a female, and we are very emotional, and we do consistently need some time, you're gonna have to make that time, okay? So you deal with that, you figure that out. So clearly these relationships, you know, things didn't work, and maybe for different reasons. So when it was time to walk away from, you know, your, I guess you could say your last relationship before you found your courtship, what were some of the things in that gray area that me and Lex from episode 30, guys, so if you haven't checked it out, make sure you check it out with my girl Lexis, that gray area where that's where it should be our selfishness time. This is where it's just self, where we can kind of work on ourselves. What did that look like for you?
I didn't have any.
Okay. Okay, that's fair.
You know, towards the end of that relationship. And again, it could have been partly me that brought it on, but you know, she got really, really toxic. You know, I could literally be coming home. You know, I was working in North Olmsted. We were living in Richmond Heights at the time, and I could call her and say, "Hey, hon, you know, look, you know, you can look on TV. You know, 271's backed up. They're saying it's a 50-minute backup."
Yeah.
I'd get home 52 minutes. She's like, "Where'd you stop? Who'd you go see? What, you know?" So, so it got to a point where there wasn't, like, if every second wasn't accounted for, you know, it was something, and you know, for a lot of that, I didn't do nothing wrong. I was, you know, I mean, but yeah, again, you know, I wasn't perfect, so you know, people don't get like that, unless there's reason. So, you know, I know that, again, I can only take accountability. You and Lex talked about that book that was, you know, the space, you know, men are from and women.
Yeah,
you know,
and, men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
I read the prelogue to it.
Oh, okay.
After that, I closed it and put it away, because he said in that, he says, the only thing you can do is change yourself. If you feel there's an intimacy problem, learn how they want intimacy.
Wow.
If there's a communication problem, learn how they want to communicate. I said, well,
that pretty much sums it
up. I closed the book, set it back down. I said, well, you know, because again, I mean, that's you spoke everything that at least I needed to hear, you know, and that was so, you know, so I know that I had faults that helped foster that. You know. But still, you know, again, you know, so there was no free time. I mean, I love playing guitar. Her and I were in a relationship for 6.5 years. I hadn't touched my guitar in 5 of those years.
Wow.
You know.
So really got away from
everything that I appreciated and loved outside of her.
Okay, and that's fair. And now, if you don't mind me asking, was it you that broke it off with her, or her that broke it off with you?
She broke it off.
She broke it off with you. Okay, that. And you know what? I know that sometimes when it comes to breakups, whether it be yourself making that decision or the other person, hurt is hurt. You know, it still hurt. It still has you, you know, really looking both ways, like, you know, how could they? And, you know, I did this, I did that. And then sometimes you do over time realize, okay, well, dang, I guess I could have did this, I could have did that. So, you know, as you were processing the breakup and getting back to your love of your music and everything like that, tell me, Chris, kind of what was going on headspace wise of you realizing that you need to make some changes within yourself, and what did that look like for you?
Well, in the beginning, it was an emotional train wreck.
Oh, for sure.
You know, we had 2 children together, and to me, it was, you know, I was, you know, not to boast or brag, but I was Mr. Wake up with the kids, get them ready to go to the babysitter, you know, pick them up, you know, get them dinner, you know, get them in the shower, get them to bed, you know, the first face they saw and the last face they saw, you know, and that was gone. So, you know, that just, you know, tore me up pretty bad. So at first I was an emotional train wreck, you know, again, right, the level of hurt was, you know, because I thought she was going to be my forever, you know, and then, but as I started to kind of get out of that, started out unhealthy, started out, again, going back to the selfishness, going back to, you know, well, I ain't gonna let no girl ever tell me nothing no more.
Oof, that's
right?
Crazy.
And, you know, so it was just a lot of going back to bad things, bad habits, and bad thinking. And it was for a while. Yeah,
and that's good, because I'm so glad that you brought that up, because a lot of times with breakups, you become guarded. Because now it's like, you know, because you put your heart on the line for this person. You thought that they were the forever person for you. And then for it to not work out, like, that's a devastating blow. It's one, I like to tell people all the time, like, emotional hurt that is a whole nother type of hurt than, you know, physical, or, you know, sometimes even a little bit to the verbal. The emotional really is like a gut punch. It's a heart-wrenching, you know, feeling. And I don't wish that on my worst enemy, to be honest. Like, it takes a while, like you said. And sometimes you spiral downwards before you get back up. And that downward effect, you hit hard sometimes. You hit rock bottom, like they say, a lot of times. So just realizing that, man, I'm not about to let nobody do that to me again. That is a part of how you know that there are some changes that need to be made, because in order for anybody to be able to find love again, you gotta let that guard down. You gotta let it down. And it's scary. It's risky, because you don't know if the next person might, you know, you might go through another heartache, and it's like, okay, Lord, how many times can I deal with this, you know? But we have to come to that realization that the guard has to come down. And sometimes it can be slow. I wouldn't even say it should be a fast unguarding. It should take some time. So Chris, with you being guarded in that way, because I was gonna say, I'm not a man by any means. I'm not one of you gents out there, but I know a lot of males that I've talked to have told me that once they went through something so devastating as a breakup, they're guarded. And sometimes most men, they'll stay guarded.
Yes.
They'll stay that way. And I mean, 40s, 50s, you know, 60s still guarded, because they never really took the time to take a chance on love again and to be able to find that true love. So in your instance, we know that is not the case. Okay?
Amen.
You found you a beautiful woman who loves you to death. So how did that come about, of being able to be willing to start letting the guard down? Because I'm sure it was up even when you met her, you know?
A big part. And ladies, I'm not going to ask any of y'all to go through this and accept this. But it started out, she knew what I was coming out of. And so she knew there was an expectancy of dealing with some broken stuff. I think it was about 6 months into our relationship, I cheated on her.
Okay.
And she caught me.
Okay.
Red-handed.
Well, that does make it a little worse, Chris.
And she said, look, take a minute. Tell me if this is what you want or don't you.
Wow.
And she said, if you do, the only thing I can do is from that point on show you I'm not your ex. I'm not what hurts you.
That's right.
And again, ladies, I'm not asking any of y'all to endure that, but understand too that when there's brokenness, sometimes the way to heal that is to show you're not what breaks them.
That's it.
And she did. And she said, look, you know, and I said, this is what I want, you know, and she said, okay, well, the first step is, you know, if you're going to be late, just come and tell me.
That's right. That's right.
And I did. I was, you know, at the time I was going through a work program downtown. I was on the bus, you know, taking the bus to and from. And I had gotten out late, missed the bus, so I stopped at payphone because, you know, I didn't have a cell phone.
Oh, I remember the payphone.
Right. So I hit the payphone. It was like, hey, hon, you know, I missed the bus, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, I'll just see you when you get home. And, you know, bus in Cleveland runs about every 40 minutes.
Oh, you already know.
But it was rush hour, so it was about 45 minutes, almost an hour. And I walked in the door and she's like, hey, glad you're home. Here's your dinner.
Here's your dinner. Wow. That speaks volumes in itself, because first off, what I got to hear from that, and beauties, you know, let me know as well as gents, that first off, she could have walked away. You know, having caught you red-handed, she could have walked away, but you guys, there was some invested time in that. So like you said, everybody may not mimic the same situation, but what I can applaud her on is, hey, something's got to change, because I'm not what she was. I'm a totally different person with a totally different, you know, mindset of where I see our relationship going. And either you can get with this or you can get with that, but you ain't getting both. Right. I'm not going to tolerate the disrespect. Yes, that's right. So she set boundaries in place at that point. This cannot happen again. And how we know it will not happen again is because now we need to create an action plan. And that action plan was, hey, communication's got to be better. Yep. Because now that communication needs to be better because on both ends, it helps her now to start to build back the trust for you. And it helps you to be able to assure her that that will not be a repeated offense.
Absolutely.
So I can definitely, like I said, I can applaud her on that because for some of us beauties out there, like you said, for those who do still see this person as, you know, the person you want to be with, but the actions and behaviors got to change, you have to change them. And for the right one, they will change, you know?
Absolutely.
So that's good. That's good. I appreciate you, you know, being transparent even in that whole situation, because you guys, the story, it wasn't a bed full of roses. It wasn't a start of a beauty story, but it is now blossomed into what I say is a phenomenal testimony for others to be able to bless them, because I love it. So all right, so you started doing the work. Okay, anything worth having, y'all gotta work for it.
That's
you started doing the work. So tell me, how did that look like? Because again, although you guys had that situation, again, we got to still remember you were still in a sense still guarded, because okay, yeah, I want to work with you. How do I know I can still trust, you know, that even me putting in this action and putting this work, you're not trying to maybe get revenge on me, or you know what I mean, whatever the mind frame might be for the guy. So Chris, tell us a little bit about how this journey still was looking for you as you are, you know, trying to work things out with your soon to be, you know, wife, but in the moment your girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, you know, simple day by day. I was going through so much, you know. I was at a point, you know, even while I was with Amber, I was really seriously contemplating suicide. And you know, I had a day plan, and I was figuring exactly how I was doing it. Strangely, that same day, a coworker of mine killed himself.
Oh no!
And first words out of my mouth was, "Wow, how selfish is he?"
Oh, wow!
Now,
Not
only did that hit me for that, it was like a pebble in a pond. And like, yes, it was selfish to think that I needed to kill myself.
Right.
Then it rippled out, you know. Well, where else am I selfish? I'm selfish at this. I'm selfish at that.
Ooh, okay.
You know, and again, right, realizing those selfish, that stinking thinking.
That's right.
You know, and you know, so it was, you know, thinking just on you know, is there one little thing that I feel safe opening up, letting go of, and you know, it was literally like taking a nail file and trying to take down a wall. Okay. You know, trying to use a nail file to get in between the grout and get each brick to come down.
That's right.
It was a wall, and there was a lot of bricks, and it was just you know, a slow process. But you know, she kept telling me, basically, if it takes 10 years, if it takes 20 years, I'm here.
She's here. Wow.
But I need to see you make steps. That's, you know, sometimes where there's steps backwards, but it's still a step.
That's right.
You know, and again, it's amazing to have somebody there that's willing to look at that. And you know, again, she was going through a lot of stuff too. And,
I'm sure.
You know, so
absolutely.
Unbeknownst to me, I was helping her in situations. So, and it's just, you know, kind of growing together. And I made mention to you earlier today, one of the things that sucks about healing is it's unfair.
Yeah.
It's unfair to you because you didn't hurt me.
That's right.
But you got to hold my hand through this.
Yeah.
It's not fair to me because I didn't hurt you.
That's right.
But, you know, but to get through that, you know, is an amazing thing. And when you have the two people that, you know, again, it was a lot of hurt that she had to go through dealing with that. But it was just finding one little thing that I start to feel safe to just let go of.
That's another good point. So I will say this again. I'm not a gent, but I have talked to quite a few of the good gents out there. Okay,
there's some that
need some little work. Okay, there are still a few good ones out there, y'all. So the hope is still there, beauties. So what I have noticed with a lot of that have found the one is they've told me that this one was different because I could feel safe with her. I was able to reveal my deepest and darkest secrets and it not be used as a weapon towards me in a later argument that had nothing to do with what I told you in the beginning anyways, but you wanted to hit below the belt so badly that you pulled something that I felt safe enough at one point to tell you that now you felt the need to pull and use against me. I have learned that beauties, you have to be that safe space for them. You have to, and it goes both ways because us beauties as well, we want to feel safe with our guys. Well, we can be able to tell you what we went through. Maybe it might be childhood trauma. Maybe it might be a past relationship that may have been, a little bit very toxic. That we can feel safe enough to be able to tell you that and know that it's in safe arms and safe keepings that you're not going to use against me later, So it goes both ways with that. But I've noticed that it's very prevalent where that's a big key item for the guys is, hey, this was my safe space. I could be having chaos all around me at work, at church, with family and friends. But the one place I can always feel safe is with her.
And I was hoping we were going to get to that because, as guys, you got the boys, and they're always like, oh, come on, man, you going home, man. Well, she got you PW'd and this and that, and and ultimately, I started responding to him by saying, well, look, when I'm scared, you gonna let me hold you and cry?
Ooh, okay, that's good.
No,
that's right. They show it.
And like I know boundaries are huge.
They are.
And and I said it without realizing I said it, and she responded to it because my ex was like that. She would tell me everything, open up, and then, well, you're wrong for feeling that way. Wait, how am I wrong for how I feel?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm feeling it for the wrong reason, but I'm not wrong for how I feel.
Right.
And so and so putting a boundary up of saying that, weaponizing my emotions is not acceptable.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That's a one and done.
That's right. That's good.
And especially for guys, because we're always taught, you get into baseball or football or whatever, when that pitcher's throwing that ball, I want you to vision that person who made fun of you. I want you to envision, the time you got yelled at.
Yeah.
I want you to turn it into anger.
Okay.
Turn it into anger.
Wow.
Turn it into anger. Oh man, you see that ball runner coming at you. I want you to get angry and hit him. And so guys are always taught to transfer everything into anger.
Wow.
What does anger breed? More anger.
That's right.
Right? So so as guys, it's probably why a lot of men blow up and react out of anger.
Yeah.
When they're scared, when they're sad, when they're right, because that's the one feeling we're allowed to have.
Yep.
So when we get into that and we feel like there's a safe woman, and so we go, okay, well, I'm gonna let you sample some of this.
Right.
And then, 3 months later, it gets, like you said, brought back up in an argument. I mean, it's like a dagger, and it's, it kills something that's within us. And again, same thing though. I grew up around a lot of women, and growing up around them and hearing stories, I still don't fully know what it's like to be a woman and go through that.
Right.
So I still need to be willing to allow them to feel safe.
Okay.
And so so it's that neutral, like you said.
That's good.
I don't know how a woman hurts, but she should feel safe to talk to me about it. And that was a big one for me. Was having Amber be able check me.
Yeah, that's right.
And be like,
that's right. Accountability. It goes back to that accountability.
Yeah,
that's right.
And so, but she could do that and be safe because I know I'm safe.
That's right.
To speak to her. Like I said, I can lay with her at night and cry and say I'm scared.
And know that it stays right there. That is so good. And again, it lays a beautiful foundation for what can now be a beautiful and blossoming, relationship / marriage, because the end goal is marriage. For a lot of us, for those who that ain't the case, then maybe this ain't for you. But for a lot of us, that is the end goal. You want to find your forever person that you can be able to build with and continue to grow with and love on and continue to learn them. We're, like I said, we're steadily changing. So just continuing to, ride the waves together, So I'm excited for when that will happen for a lot of us, including myself.
Keep that in prayer.
Absolutely, amen. I believe it. So okay, so you guys are putting in the work, and like you said, this is not just one person doing it. You guys are both putting in the work, making this thing work, and you're steadily, brick by brick, layer by layer, it's starting to come down. It's starting to come down. So okay, so we're at the point now where, Chris, where did you realize, okay, I have done the work, she's done the work, and it's time now to solidify this thing, in a godly way, because God definitely, he's delighted in the fact of us being able to unite as husband and wife. Absolutely. The Bible speaks of that. So when it is good that a man leaves his parents and cleaves to a woman. That's
it is
right.
Good.
It is good.
Same thing he said about all the creation.
That's right. Oh yes, absolutely. So, that's good. And he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. So you see where that good is, y'all? Ain't that
one little word means a whole lot?
It does. If it makes you feel good inside, just saying it. So when did that come about, Chris, for you? Were you like, you know what? I can't continue to go on this earth without her being my wife.
It happened a lot sooner than it actually happened. Right.
That's fair.
Yeah. I was still dealing with a lot with my ex and child support and things like that. And I didn't feel like, it's wrong for me to burden her.
That's fair. I understand.
And, but there was a conversation that we were having, and there was a point where like, just because of my ex and those hurts, lying was more easier than telling the truth, just because even if I told the truth, I was wrong anyways. So I try to come up with the least hurtful explanation of things.
Okay, gotcha.
And Amber kept telling me, like, I just, give me the truth. I just, I'll respect you so much more with the truth. And she had asked a question, and my ex at the time was dating a dude who was a crackhead and was very abusive. Okay. And my 2 kids were still there, and she asked me if I would leave her and Carolyn to be with my ex. And that was like that was that crossroad moment for me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fair.
I was thinking, I should say no. But she wanted to know my truthful response.
That's right, the real truth.
And so I went out there on the ledge and I said yes.
Wow.
I would.
Okay.
And I know there was like a knife on her side. But the reasoning wasn't because I loved her more.
Right.
It was only because I know I could step in and protect my children.
Right.
So, but it doesn't change her. Right. It does not. But how strong of her was for her to hear that.
That's a lot.
And even tell me I'm hurt by this, but thank you for being honest with me.
Wow. That's a different response than I'm sure you were even expecting.
I was expecting to get hit.
Oh, for sure. Right as I did.
and like that was such a moment. Like, look, I can really do, say, be anything that I am in my heart with this woman, and it's safe.
It's safe. Wow.
And I said, and at that moment I knew like this is end game for me. Like, and a lot of the growing and building only built up momentum from that point.
Yeah.
Because again, it was a moment that she rightfully did not need to endure.
Okay. That's fair. That is true.
Again, right?
I would agree.
Healing ain't fair.
That's right. Healing is not fair.
And it was a dirty blow, really.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And
no
like
one wants to hear
she
that.
endured it, and she, respected my honesty. And never, we've had a few arguments. We don't argue much.
Y'all,
we don't.
They
fight
don't,
often,
y'all. They don't. It blows my mind because he comes in. He's a frequent. Stop in and see his wife, and it's always just hugs and kisses and honey buns and all of this. And I'm just like, wow. So marriage can be like that.
It can be.
It should be. It should be. Absolutely, I agree. And for a lot of us, we don't see enough of that to know that it should be where you can still work through problems. And honestly, your happy times should outweigh the bad. Because like you said, you guys barely argue. So, for the most part, that sounds to me like there's a lot more positive than it is negative. So.
And you've been going through all that healing and that change.
Yeah.
We didn't argue a lot.
Yeah,
it was a lot. There was a lot of, hey, this is wrong, or you know what I'm saying? It was, but again, I knew I was safe.
Yeah.
I knew that whatever. So she was not a whole lot of arguing.
Yeah.
She could tell me things, and I wasn't perfect.
Right.
But I might frump or whatever, get my little attitude about it, but I heard it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's good. And what also makes good too, because again, you did realize in that moment that it wasn't worth it to go back to the ex. And that's a big decision because, like you said, it wasn't you going back for love per se. It was the fact that you're a very involved father. I mean, I kudos to you. For the fathers out there, I mean, there are so many of you guys that are really y'all gung-ho on it. Like, my children are my world, and we appreciate that because that's also sometimes a negative, stigma is that, the dads aren't stepping up, the dads aren't there. And there are some good ones out there that are really 10 toes down in the trenches, making sure their children are taken care of. So kudos to you, as we are soon to be approaching Father's Day at that. So I think this is a great way to just say phenomenal dad. I only get to see a little glimpse of it, but what I do get to see makes a big impact on just realizing there are so many good fathers out there, and you are definitely one of them. So keep doing what you're doing. Your children, very much, I can tell they feel the love, they feel the appreciation. They make sure that you are appreciated, I'm sure. If they ain't, let me know, I'm gonna let them know. But yes, so that was huge. And the fact that you guys were able to have that serious conversation, and for you to be like, you know what, bump that, you're the one that I want to be with. So how did that still, because I know the problem still consisted of that. So how did you still navigate, your children being in a different household, and you deciding like, you know what, I'm not going to go back to that toxic, relationship. I'm going to move forward with my wife Amber. And, how did that kind of look? Just kind of had to work through it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, she asked me in a hypothetical sense. It wasn't like,
that's what you're really going to do.
Right.
Okay.
And, but like I said, I'm just going through that, and it's just, I've always had a pull to want to be a dad and a husband.
Absolutely.
Since I was young. So I mean, that's just, I think that's a big part.
Yeah.
I've had that desire, but just seeing that, man, and just knowing and understanding again my responsibility,
right,
my accountability,
okay,
and just I just wanted to make her as happy as she makes me feel.
That's awesome.
And it was just and she looks now and she just says, see, there's the man I saw all the way back then.
That's good.
And so it's here you go. She's she points that to me. And she lets me know. The progress has happened.
That's right.
And so so there's encouragement in that too.
Wow. I can appreciate that. The fact that she saw the potential. She saw the potential is what I got from that, and that is amazing. I know that we and you have also talked a lot about God. Now, has God always been the structure of your life, or did you find that during your dark times, or where does that come into play? Because I know you're very active in the church.
Yes, I was involved in church probably as young as like 5 or 6.
Okay.
Did the whole gave my life to Christ about 8 or 9. Baptized. As a teenager, fell out. Like so many other teenagers did. Got to drinking, smoking weed, all that good stuff. But it was funny because, even in that, I was that dude that, people start making God jokes. I'm like, yo, bro, as I'm packing my bowl or my bong or whatever, I'd be like, man, look, you can joke about whatever and F this or that, but you don't joke about God.
Come on now.
We walk by a synagogue and somebody would be over there trying to pee on. I'm like, bro,
right.
That ain't even doing that. Right, or a mosque or whatever. I didn't even care.
Right.
What the religion was.
That's right.
No, you don't disrespect. That. Whether you agree or not, don't disrespect it.
That's good.
And so that's always kind of been there in me. And then in my deepest, darkest place, God literally spoke out to me. And unfortunately, it was in incarceration. And it was the day I got sentenced. And Cuyahoga County has these big, huge rooms that you go down, and they usually have about 80 people in them. And while I was after my sentencing, they put you in a small room. There's like 5 or 6 guys, and we're just kind of talking, and they're like, "Yeah, man, you got, they refer to it as Buck Rogers time, life in prison, or they actually give people 888 years, or they said when that happens, they usually clear the room out and just put you in there by yourself."
Wow.
I was only sentenced to 2 years, and they cleared everybody out.
Okay. Wow.
And I said, I'm like thinking to myself, it was only 2 years, and I heard, "Curse me or pray." And I said, "What?" I said, and I heard, "Curse me or pray."
Wow.
And I did. I hit my knees and I said, "Okay." I said, "God, if this is the plan that you have for me, then I need you to be there."
Absolutely.
And he was there the entire way, and I made a promise too that if he got me through that, I wouldn't leave him at the gate. And so many people that talk about jailhouse religion, and they leave him at the gate, and I've been home 15 years now.
Amen.
And God has just been so amazing to just bless me and bless me and bless me and bless me. And I've been following along the way.
Of course. We all have.
But I've always given him credit for the blessings.
Right.
And so.
That's good. I'm trying to remember the scripture. All have fallen and come short of the glory of God.
Yes.
So we all have been there.
Righteousness is a bit filthy rags.
That's right.
So.
Come on. Listen, but God is good, and He is definitely the God where you get a second chance. And I believe in that moment, like you said, God gave you that ultimatum. Hey, either you're gonna be hot or cold.
That's it.
You cannot be lukewarm.
That's
okay.
It. Spit you out the mouth.
That's right. And in that moment, you made the right decision. Absolutely. And it's been nothing but blessings on top of blessings since then. I had to catch him, y'all, because in a few weeks, him and his beautiful wife and family, they're relocating. I wish them nothing but the best. They're heading down to good old Arkansas. My dad has quite a bit of family down there. I have yet to meet. So I'm familiar with Arkansas, but I haven't been down there yet. So I have to come and make a 2-stop shop there. I gotta come see you guys and see the fam.
That would be awesome.
But they're relocating, and go to a place that I will show you. So I like to phrase it as this is your Abraham journey, for you and your family. I just know nothing but blessings and success for you guys. as you go to the next chapter of you guys' lives. And this is huge. So I had to catch him, y'all. And I thank God that he opened up the opportunity, because it was such a short window. I know that you guys are busy packing, and I'm like, Lord, I don't know if this is going to be a good time for him. And and God had to replay back what I said as a woman who likes to stand on her word. You told this man when you came back from that cruise, you was gonna make this setup and make it happen. Now all you got to do is just be obedient to what you said, or which I had already told you.
Yep.
And I'll bless the rest.
That's it.
So I ain't gonna lie, I kind of just threw it out there as a faith thing. Okay, Lord, I'm gonna be obedient to what you're saying. But I know this man, it may be a no, because it's just so close to the time that they're getting ready to relocate, and I'm so glad that it worked out.
I know God's in it. I know God's involved with you. And kind of like they say in AA, right? Mm-hmm. Don't say no.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So it was, again, I know God was in it.
That's right.
So what your availability was, I was going to make it available. And,
yes.
And, you know, this is weird for me. This is new for me. This is strange. So, absolutely, it was just an absolute blessing to want to be able to do this. So I'm glad God worked it out too.
I'm glad he worked it out. He has a funny way of working things out, and it's just as simple as, if you just be obedient. Obedience is better than sacrifice. So just being obedient to the fact that we have been talking about this. Mm-hmm. I think it's been months, to be honest, off and on. And right before I was going on my trip, you was like, no, I'm serious. I'll come. Just tell me.
Anytime.
I'm like, okay. Okay. I got you. As soon as I come back from my cruise, I got you. And hence, y'all, side note why I had to wear a hat, y'all. My hair is just raggedy, and from, the trip, I had a great time. That'll be coming soon too. But your girl had to put on a hat because it ain't looking too hot under here. But I still wanted to make sure we both came on. We blessed the people with a beautiful story. Like I said, it was not a bed full of roses. It had some bumps. It had some grooves. It had a lot.
Cleveland style potholes.
Come on with the potholes. I think you ain't Cleveland or Clevelander if you ain't dealt with these potholes.
That's right.
They something to deal with, child. They a lot to handle. But you made it through them, because I'm sure even on the journey here, because Manners didn't know the nice part, which over here it's a little rocky over here. It's a little rocky. But you made it, and God is good all the time. So yeah, I'm just glad that God was able to align it perfectly, where I shoot my shot, and he said, of course I'll come. And like I said, we are both, basically brothers and sisters in Christ.
Amen.
Okay. And the beautiful thing, like I said, we also share a beautiful woman with a beautiful soul that I'm hoping I go fight back the tears when that last day comes. But I know that you guys, greater and better is coming your way. So I get it. So Chris, I appreciate it. Oh, is there anything lastly that you would like to, just words of encouragement, anything that maybe we didn't talk about that you would like to share to my beauties and gents?
Yeah. This is especially for the guys, it's not weak to be weak. It's not, again, we got to be guarded sometimes who we open up to. But, if you're willing to step out that comfort zone with the right woman, and women, again, if he's willing to open up, you got to have the sometimes saying things, and you hold back on it, and give him that moment. It'll foster something that's absolutely beautiful, and we all deserve love.
That's right.
We all are worthy of it, and sometimes the work is worth it, because I'm proof of that. Because not only in a relationship, but with God. That's right.
So. Amen. That is a beautiful way to end off this. Wow. Okay. Woo. All right. Well, listen, I knew this was going to be great. That's why I had to have him on. I had to take the chance and opportunity while I still have him here in Cleveland before the relocation to make sure that it gets to you guys, because it blessed my soul, and I know that it blessed you guys as well. And again, this was just a wrap up of the mini healing series that I just think is just very much imperative that we have. I was able to give you guys Alexis so you can get a female point of view. So my beauty was on Then you guys got to hear my story of what I went through and my healing process. Honestly, you guys have heard my healing process before when I dealt with my marriage then, but this was a little bit of a different twist. So if you guys haven't checked that episode, I'll make sure you do. And then now we get the male point of view of what healing looks like. How do you know that you've come to, that part where you can feel whole again, and be able to share it with someone who you're meant to be with. So this was a great healing series. I'm so glad I did it. I'm praying that it blessed you guys. Let's see, I want to forget anything else. Oh, and soon to come, I'm probably just going to do like a short little video of this. But for my winners, I had some winners. I had 4 winners because I decided I'd start off with 3. If you guys check out CJ Hashtags episode, I threw out a contest. I was able to pick the winners. I'm a woman of my word. So their merch is coming. So as soon as I get their merch to them, I'm going to probably film that and their reaction to receiving it. And again, I just want to bless those that's really been rocking with me, really been blessing me. Chris, I appreciate you. I might just have to have a special gift for you because you've been binge watching all of my podcast episodes, and I know that he ain't just saying that. He truly been watching them because he's been able to give me snippets of them. So I appreciate that as well. The love is just so overwhelming. Just the words of encouragement that Chris and all of you guys have been able to bless me with. If you haven't already been subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting on? Hit the button. It's literally just, and you're done. Okay, so hit that button for you, girl. Join us.
Get some soul food.
That's right. Come on now, it's good for the soul.
Yes,
okay, and it's great topics. Again, I just want to be able to bless you with our stories and our testimonies of our tests to become testimonies of how we made it over, and that way you can be able to avoid some of the pitfalls that we went through. So that is the end goal every time with any of my episodes. If you know me, you know it. Okay. I'm thinking about doing another contest, guys, as I get closer to my 1-year anniversary. Beauty Told will be turning 1 year old on August 6th, you guys. Time flies. Yes. August 6th. So right now, right around the corner at this point, as we are in the summer, it's hot, it's feeling beautiful. I love it. So stay tuned. You never know when I'm going to throw that contest back out there and give you a chance to win, other things. Maybe it might be something other than just merchandise. So again, stay tuned. You don't want to miss that. Again, great episode. Hope it blessed you guys as much as it blessed me. And of course, as always, until next time, let's make a change.